Hey everybody, it's Daniel Chang with VintageMagic.com, and we're here in Paris, France with Nicolas. Hi Nicolas.
Hi Daniel. How
Hey,
you doing?
good. And you're French, so how do you pronounce your name?
Didier. Nicolas Didier. It's pretty easy.
So Paris is apparently right now it's like a vacation season.
It is.
So
yeah.
there's really no one around these days.
Yeah, that's why we're welcoming you right now.
Yeah, and today's Monday, and it's I came for since Friday, and we had a great meeting with his father, kind of talking about the special painting we'll get into here in a minute. Nicolas, you're a collector of sort. How did you begin magic? What was your journey in magic itself?
Well, like most people my age, I'm 33 now. I discovered magic when I was in school, and I was around 14, I believe. And I played around at recess time with my friends when the magic was first translated in French. And I played for about 2 or 3 years at that time, and then completely stopped. Got involved in the art collecting, and then picked up magic randomly like 3 years ago, and now I'm playing some more magic, but not collecting artwork anymore.
Now let's talk about the playing in the beginning, because I started in Revised, the 3rd edition. What set did you start with?
It was the equivalent of Revised. It's the foreign black bordered, so it's the same cards, except translated in French.
The FBB, yeah.
FBB or FWB.
I believe that was 1994 with the dual lands and all
exactly,
that.
1994, yeah.
Now, how would you pronounce? I always read it wrong. But how do you pronounce Magic the Gathering in French in the back?
Magie l'Assemblée.
Assembly, yeah. Do you think overall the translation was accurate from what you've seen?
I can't really tell, because at that time I was only playing with French cards, so I couldn't compare. But I think a lot of names are pretty complicated in English, and so they're not very common names for cards that you don't use in everyday conversation, and same in French. So there's a lot of specific vocabulary that's going on in Magic, but the translation seems to be going okay.
All right, perfect. So you started playing, and the story. I'm trying to follow in the story of your playing and your journey. You started playing with your friends, and then you obviously the game was something you caught on in the very beginning. But how did you become a collector of the art, or a collector?
Well, it was at the time when I was stopping the playing side of things. I was just intrigued by some of the artwork, especially in the Mercaden Masks, Urza Saga, these kinds of expansions that I thought were really interesting in the artwork. And there was just certain cards that appealed to me, and I was just wondering, okay, if there's art on this card, there probably is an artist. I mean, there's an artist name on the bottom of each card, and I was just trying to get in touch with some of these people, me living in France, and I just wanted to have some cards signed. So I got like a few people, contacted a few guys, and I just sent out my cards to get them signed. They sent them back, and then with some of these people, like RK Post, for instance, we started talking, and they mentioned the fact that they were selling some of their art.
Really?
And,
this is back in 99?
That was like, 98, 99, 2000. Yeah.
So internet was a little bit different back in, but you definitely, it was the classic, you approach the artist, they...
Exactly, it's the same thing as today, I guess, but not every artist had an email account at that time, but the ones that did, they replied, they signed my cards, and I was immediately interested by like RK Post, Todd Lockwood, these guys that I really liked the art, and they had some paintings available. So,
right. So. Now, when you your friends at the time, with the community itself, did people think of was collecting art a big thing back in the day?
Absolutely not. I mean, the French people I was playing with, they thought I was crazy to just get my cards signed. They thought that was kind of stupid. I liked it, and but the art part. I mean, I never really exchanged with anyone, because when I got my first paintings, I wasn't playing at all at that point, so I didn't really talk to anyone about my passion for the artwork.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, so Nicolas, we've obviously began our journey talking online. obviously on the Magic Art Exchange, there was a famous painting, and we can just, the painting is the Rishadan Port.
Sure.
And, one of the things that occurred was you, tell us a story of, what made you go about and selling the piece, and, what's kind of that experience and that process for you?
Well, it was like 3 years ago when I started playing again. I realized that this card, Rishadan Port, had become kind of popular in the game. When I bought it initially, I wasn't aware of that because I contacted the artist, Jerry Tiritili, who just sent me a list and pictures of the artwork that was available at the time. And when I was interested in Rishadan Port, the card hadn't actually been printed yet, so I wasn't aware of the effect it had on the game, or that it was going to become a staple in any kind. And when I realized it did, I was just kind of curious if the painting was maybe worth something to some people. And
No, you began to realize that recently, like
pretty recently. I mean, like 3 years ago. Yeah.
So this whole entire time, that was, so you said 99. That was like So the painting was in your parents' house?
Exactly, it was in my parents' house. Yeah.
It was just there and hanging
there along with a few other cards.
Yeah. So what prompted you to, from that period of time, why didn't you consider looking at selling, or just researching back in the day?
I didn't really need to sell it. It was hanging there. It was great. I was enjoying it. I really like this artwork, and it's just recently I've bought a house, and I need to make a few adjustments in the house. So I was looking for some basically some extra cash.
Sure. So speaking of career and stuff, I mean, you don't have to what is your background?
I work in marketing and communications and different fields in French.
Very well spoken. You're in the web field, right? Yeah. And it's very interesting. With the French artists these days. I think there's a couple of big ones. Alexei Brichka.
Alexei Briclot,
Yeah. Have you met him before?
No, I met him very briefly at a GP.
Yeah.
Magali Villeneuve also. There's probably a few others. Johan Baudin.
Yeah. So would you say back in the day, it was mostly English artists? It wasn't really...
Yeah, I don't think they were around at that time. They came a bit later on. And I mean, all the guys that I contacted were all... Yeah, they were all American, except I remember Cirello.
Oh, yes.
This guy was from Spain, I believe.
Right.
And there may have been a couple of exceptions, but they were all kind of all American.
Exactly. Well, that's great. So you have a great. You've kind of obviously made some good life. You made some life choices to. Obviously, you have to have a update your home and such, so you decided to go to the art exchange. So guys, basically, there was a kind of a period of time where Nicolas put this item for as offers. One of the things that Nicolas and I began talking, and I'm sure some of the other members of the art exchange started talking, and basically Nicolas and I, agreed to a deal, and we, I came to Paris. There was a period of time where we didn't do much talking of explaining, hey, what happened to the piece, and this is the reason why is we need to, we wanted to meet up and finish the deal and to document everything. So Nicolas has been very kind to show me his country, and we just enjoyed a great lunch, and it's been a really great experience. So we wanted to share this video with you guys and the painting here in a minute, kind of the history of it all. And Nicolas, why don't you show us the port? And let's look at. Okay, first off, this is. Yep. Well, let's look at the front. Yep. Oh, we just hinted at the port. Well, let's do the sketches first because that's the.
All right.
There you go. Let's put that on top. Yep. This is, I believe.
Yeah, this is the first rough sketch. I think every artist kind of has a different approach to doing the final artwork. I can't exactly remember what Jerry did, Jerry Tiritili. But for this piece, he did several different sketches to get the right flavors, and this one is the first rough pencil sketch. So it's pretty small, but all the elements are already there. The sea, and all the different buildings from the Mercader Masks block.
Oh, perfect.
And then a second one, which is already still pencil, but a bit more detailed.
It's a little thinner. It's a kind of a
Yeah.
transfer in a way.
It is, yeah. But
And you notice like there was this little hole,
Yeah.
you know, just through. It was on the scan before.
it was actually like this when I bought it, so.
Now, when you purchased the art, did you ask for the sketch or? How
Yes,
was that?
yeah, I did. I was always a big fan of sketches, and whenever I could get them with the original art, I would always try to get them because it's nice to see the process evolve to the final painting.
Of course.
I think, yeah.
And let's look at the. This is probably the most detailed.
Yeah, this is the most detailed pencil sketch, which is really like, well, I think everything is there now. Almost the texture of the sea, everything. It's very beautiful. It's even smaller than the other ones, but it's really nice. And the piece right after that goes even a step further because it's color. It's I believe watercolor.
Watercolor, yeah.
So that's kind of a mini port,
Beautiful.
which is yeah, it's like
What do you?
the colors are a bit naive in a way, but they're really great.
Yeah. What do you? When you first talked to me about when you first heard about the port, as you know, did you look at the image first and say, "Oh, this is"?
Yeah, it's like I
Yeah.
was saying earlier. But I mean, I wasn't aware of the card. It was just like the image, you know. It was. He told me it was called Rishadan Port. It was coming out like in a year or something. But I had no idea what the card was going to do. Obviously, I figured it was probably going to be a land, but that was the only thing I knew.
And that really didn't really matter.
That didn't matter at all because I was just selecting like the artwork.
Do you prefer landscapes? Is that
depends.
environments? Is that your?
What I really liked about this one, like it was, of course, it wasn't deeply rooted in fantasy, which is something that kind of. I'm not a huge fan of like pure fantasy artwork, so this one could have been like it could appeal to a wider crowd. I remember like even my parents at the time when they didn't like most of the art that I was buying, but this one they actually did like.
Exactly.
Because I think anyone that likes paintings will probably like this Rishadan Port.
All right, let's talk. Let's go right to the art. So,
Sure.
when you tell me when you first received the piece, what did you think?
Well, I think
Because you've seen the card and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that strikes me the most is the colors. You know, they're much more vivid in real life. I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but it's. I mean, the card and the scans at the time really did not do justice to the artwork. So that was pretty. That was a pleasant surprise. Also, even though I had like the dimensions, I knew that the port was pretty big. When you actually have it in your hands, it's bigger than most Magic cards, at least at that time. Nearly
Definitely.
twice as big. So that was yeah, it was a pretty big piece, and once it's framed, it's very impressive.
Now, was this framed before?
It was framed not by the artist, but I framed it for myself. Yeah.
Okay. So beautiful. I love the yeah, you're right. I mean, and also, pardon me, guys. Obviously, you guys, the Magic players, know the card. But if I had the card with me, Nicolas's is right on. This,
Yeah.
the colors are so bright and vivid. They're so detailed. I mean, there's a lot of fun factor here of the dolphins and just you know, little animals, and then it's just. And it's something that I've always liked about this piece is the fishbowl effect. Do you notice that?
Yeah,
the
that's something that-
perspective was unique.
Yeah, and what's fun is if you look at the actual card, it's a straight line over here on the card. It was actually photoshopped
Right.
because I remember Jerry Tiritzili told me that it was rejected by the art director at the time because he felt it was too childish to have this fishbowl effect, and
Wow.
so it was photoshopped to have like this flat line, and well. Yeah, as you can see on all the sketches, it was already fishbowl. So
Right. And yeah, so yeah, guys, pull out your Rishadan ports and take a look at that. I did notice that it was more linear, more flat. Yeah, more straight lined a little bit.
oh, well, it's a complete straight line.
Yeah,
in fact,
you're definitely yes. Now let's look at the back of the painting. There's a style that makes this very special. There's a
Sure. The commission sheet is
Oh, wow.
on the back, so you can see some of the some of the details, and especially where is it? This sentence. Can you read it? Maybe because I can't.
Which one?
The description.
Oh yeah. So the description is a panoramic view from the top of city of Rishadan, looking across into the ocean. Do not show the island city of Speranza on the horizon. See style guide for Rishadan reference. Yeah, I mean, there was another card called Speranza Cove or something by Rebecca Gay. Yeah, and it kind of aligned towards that. It was definitely there's something very, like you said, there was a beautiful style, a very unique style, environment that they had, and they made this awesome world out of it.
Before all the digital stuff.
Yeah.
It was very different, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about, like, just speaking of digital? We were talking about that before. Like, now all the art is mostly digital.
Yeah.
Where do you think magic's gone? Because you've been there since like a beginning, kind of.
Sure.
Now you've seen some of the new art. Of course, you play a little bit of news cards. Yeah. What do you think the art?
Well, I think it's kind of I have a double reasoning on this. I think for the cards themselves, the art is probably better. But for to hang on your wall, I would never consider these pieces or even those prints. Most of the time, I don't really like it. I like real paintings, and with when you can really see like the brushes and like the work and effort that's been put into it. And the digital stuff is just too clean and clinical for me. I don't.
That's a great way to put. Yeah. It's almost. It's just. Like it's too robotic.
Exactly.
Cyber. Yeah.
But I think it does work well for like the small pictures on the cards, and the new frames. Well, it's not so new anymore. I think they're really great. But there's just an appeal to these old cards that I really like. That's probably because I started in 1994 at the beginning, and someone who starts now probably thinks they look really silly and naive or whatever. But that's just nostalgia, I guess.
What are some of your favorite cards and paintings of all time and artists?
Well, for cards, honestly, I think this one is probably my favorite. That's it's an old school card, of course, that I really like. And as far as artists, I think there's Bob Eggleton. That's really one of my favorites. Even though I wasn't a big fan of the cards he did for Magic, I think it was basically in Urza's Saga, most of the cards he did. But outside of that, he's an amazing artist that I really, really like. And Omar Rayan also did
some Magic cards too.
Yeah,
but his work outside of Magic and imaginative realism is incredible.
Yeah. And I also really like Donato Giacomo.
Oh yes.
And but also I think the work outside of Magic is much more amazing for all three of these artists.
Right. Yeah. And you were telling me you got books of Spectrum and stuff back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And early beginnings, and that's kind of what leads you to acquire some of the non-Magic pieces.
Exactly, and that also helped me at the beginning to find the contact to the people. I remember there was like two pages at the end of each book to contact either by phone or by email the artist, and that helped me.
Right.
Because in those times the internet was just blossoming, so it was pretty tough to actually get in contact with these guys, especially when you're in France.
Right. Exactly.
All right. It was really a great book.
Yeah. Guys, Spectrum it's a publication annually. They've done, I think, like almost 20, 30 books now. It's pretty incredible. And there's that show, a LuxCon in Pennsylvania, annually. I think it's going to be in Reading, Pennsylvania. I go there every year now. But if you guys check it out, ILLUXCON. Bob Eggleton is there, luxcon.com. Check him out. He's one of the artists that show there, and Donato's always there. And so hopefully one of these days you come visit us. I think that would be great. If
that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that would be a lot of the people you just named.
Yeah.
Are in a LuxCon.
That's cool.
That right there is it. Yeah. You fly out of Philadelphia. It's a direct flight, I believe. There's a couple of Paris flights.
I'll have to make it one
of these days. Well, you get a lot of vacation, so it's okay. Nicolas brought up something very interesting. We'll have to say, okay. Apparently, the French and Europeans get what? How many? At least how many vacation days?
At least 25.
Oh my God!
So
Paid vacation.
Paid vacation. Yeah. So that's probably more than you have in the States.
Yes, and then so your new position, you're gonna get around 50 or something.
Yeah, nearly 50. So that's
that's unbelievable.
that's a French national record.
That's a world record. Your world record. All right, well, guys, thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. We're gonna have a story that will follow with this, written by our staff writer Patrick Scalisi. Patrick's been in contact with you. He's finishing up the article, but thank you so much for your time, Nicolas.
Thank you.
Thank you, fans out there. Nicolas has been amazing to just show me around his country. He's also been very professional, and we wanted to keep this kind of a surprise and kind of keep it, finish the deal and finalize before we just make any kind of announcement. But I think this is a very nice way. I think the article is going to really show, the writer spoke to Jerry Teratelli for almost an hour or so, had a really great conversation. So Patrick will include that in the article and kind of how Jerry created the art. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions about vintage magic art or cards, or if you have just any questions in general, you can always visit us at vintagemagic.com, and always find, if you have any personal or just questions and concerns, or you just want to just give me some feedback, you can always email me at daniel@vintagemagic.com. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video. Again, thank you so much, Nicolas, from Paris,
man.
France, and we'll talk to you guys soon.